Hello out there, all you Saint Lunatics. Welcome back for another episode. This is episode 3 or 3 if you're German. This is ThatSTLpod, the men who are often wrong. I am Clay, your host, that STL guy online. I'm here with the rest of the crew. I'll introduce them real quick. We got the Midwest Ed, Ethan, the Midwest Ed Sheeran. And we also have Nick, the Gales of November Gleason. How you boys doing?
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful holiday season.
Wonderful holiday season, exactly.
This podcast gives good benefits, so I used some of that unlimited PTO and saw the world.
Yes. Speaking of seeing the world, Ethan, you're in Fulton right now, about two hours, hour and a half outside of St. Louis.
Practically.
How's it over there? Practically St. Louis. It's a suburb.
It was good.
Right?
First time being back in Missouri in a while, but
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for all the road work being done on 70 and 64.
Oh, you weren't prepared, huh?
No, I wasn't.
There's always road work on 70. There's always road work on 70. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually wanted to bring something up today on the pod related to 70. People subscribe to my TikTok page for, really niche knowledge about St. Louis. And I think I actually got a good one here. I was wearing my Boeing hoodie the other podcast. I'm becoming a bit of a plane guy. Or you guys like planes?
I fuck with planes.
You fuck with planes? We got Boeing over there. It used to be, but you've been in a plane?
Mm-hmm.
You flew into St. Louis.
As they fly above.
Speaking of I-70, we basically have I-70 and I-44 in St. Louis because of the U-2 spy plane. Like how does the U-2 spy plane come to building highways in Missouri?
What does Bono have to do with St. Louis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What does Bono have to do with St. Louis?
That's actually part of my trivia questions for later on.
Oh, looking forward to that.
You got to stay tuned.
Looking forward to that. You got
to listen to the full episode to get your answers up.
So if you know the U-2 spy plane, you guys played Call of Duty, 2 kill streak, 3 kill streak, whatever. You get the U-2 spy plane, you put it in the air. You can see all your enemies. That same U-2 spy plane, back in like the Cold War, when we were going at it with the Soviets, there was this thing called the bomber gap. You guys know about the bomber gap? No, didn't think so.
Good bit about the bomber jacket.
I mean, if we both said yes, it would make it a bad story. So we're gonna say
it
no.
would.
So
I would have to explain it. It'd be less interesting to you guys though. But I'm glad I can educate you. So there was this thing called the bomber gap in the Cold War, and it was basically, we thought that the Soviets were building bomber planes at such like an incredible pace that we needed to spend a ton of money just to keep up with their production. People were talking about it in the news, in the public. Congress was arguing about it, how we should be spending all of our money, tax wise and everything. It was
in reality, they just had one guy who was really good at Microsoft Paint, just sending over pictures.
Well, similar. So, we sent our spies out to the Soviet Union to go see these air shows, right? And they were looking at all these bombers flying overhead in the air show, and they were like counting them one by one. They were writing it down in their little notebook, and they're like, wow, they have a ton of bombers. We don't have this many bombers. We need to keep pace. So we need to spend billions and billions of dollars on all these new Boeing planes, actually the B-29s, which was the bomber at the time that we had. We need to make a ton of these. So as we, started getting that moving to make up for the bomber gap, we created the U-2 spy plane, and it could fly so high that it didn't even have to worry about getting shot down by the Soviets, and it would be able to take pictures of all the airfields in Russia, and you could see how many bombers they actually had. And so it was the first time we could safely fly into Russian airspace, see what they had, take pictures of it. Well, we realized there were not actually very many bombers at all. Way less than we thought. We're like, how is this possible? They went back and looked at all the photos they took at the air show. They just literally sent the same planes. They would have them do circles and keep flying back to the air show over and over. And they were like basically tricking us to spend more money.
Hey,
what
but we
does this
got some
have to
highways
do?
out of it.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with the highways? How did this have to do with the highways? Well, once that came out, we had the intelligence that actually we're fine. There is no bomber gap. Well, Eisenhower, the president at the time, was like, we should just spend all this money. We should make new infrastructure. So he decided to create the U.S. highway system, spend all the money for that. The first ones he made were 44, which was part of Route 66, and I-70. So shout out to the the U-2 spy plane for giving us some highways in St. Louis. So that's why you subscribe to my page, so you can hear crazy stupid niche facts about St. Louis. So think about that next time you get a kill streak in Call of Duty. Because of this plane, I get to drive in traffic every morning on my way to work.
Well, think about what it would be like without them. Those are two major highways. We only would have 270 and 64 if those ones didn't exist.
Right.
Fucking nightmare.
Real congested, dude. Be really. Everyone would have to divert everywhere else, you know?
I guess
Yeah, I know.
170 exists if you live up north, but you probably shouldn't. So not recommended.
You guys have a good Christmas? You guys get any great stuff for Christmas, huh?
Oh, holly and jolly. I got a bunch of socks. Big sock Christmas.
Yeah.
Not hating on sock Christmas.
Huge
lots
sock.
Lots of football socks, some alcohol inspired socks, some comic book inspired socks. It was gorgeous. I got some comic books too. I'm pretty into that. My wife.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Got me some like some original Avengers comics.
Oh, wow.
Those look really cool.
And I didn't know you were into that. That's cool.
And my son got more plastic dinosaurs than I previously thought there was plastic on the earth, and is still getting more. So
he loves those dinosaurs, dude.
Big dinosaurs.
Yeah, just wait till he grows up and he can watch like some of the adult movies of dinosaurs like Jurassic Park. Like those are classics.
He does. He loves Jurassic Park. He has not watched Jurassic Park itself. Netflix does an adaptation.
Yeah, they have the kid version of Jurassic Park.
Right? Yeah, and they have a TV show on it as well that he really enjoys. But he looks for the Jurassic Park logo to decide the value of the dinosaur box that he just got. He's like, oh, Walmart dinosaurs, not as cool.
No, you don't want off-brand dinosaurs.
But you have the Jurassic Park logo on there. He gets pretty excited, and he appreciates the gift. We're teaching him about humility right now. One of our good friends, Ben, came over and dropped him off a gift while he was in town. Mind you, Ben has met Quentin one time, and his girlfriend came, who Quentin has not met. He's been getting presents for days nonstop. He's 4 years old. I should probably preface this. And he comes over. He goes, "You only got me one." And this doesn't look like dinos. I got a lot of dinos for Christmas. It's like, all right, pal. So the standard for people who you haven't met getting you gifts is actually 0. So I kind of batted this one out of the park. But sure,
wow,
give him shit for not giving you enough presents. You spoiled kid.
That's awesome. I actually got to see Ben as well recently with his girlfriend before he left. It was great.
Dr. Dugan.
Shout out Dr. Dugan.
We'll get him on here for some sports insight.
Yes, whenever we have medical questions, we'll have to ring him up on the pod so he can answer that. Whenever we run into some sports injury or something, he'll be in the know how to do that. He's a surgeon, so and his girlfriend is also a doctor, so we can get their takes on it. I was really excited though because I got to show Ben's girlfriend with him. We went to Ted Drew's. We went out on the hill. We had some Italian food. It was great. And then we went to Ted Drew's, and we went from Ted Drew's and we walked to Candy Cane Lane for Christmas
gorgeous
lights.
Out. That's something we should bring up later. The fact that it was 70 degrees on Christmas.
Yes.
But anyway.
I was going to say that was the day when it was like 70 something degrees out. It was wild. And so we're walking with our ice cream, and she's like, what is this? This is a neighborhood, and it's full of Christmas lights. So if you guys don't know anything about Candy Cane Lane, it is a street, Murdoch Avenue in South City. It's in the St. Louis Hills, and the street, every single house on the street just goes crazy for Christmas lights. Everyone goes all out for it. And there are cars literally lined up for miles going, 1 mile an
Made it
hour.
impossible to get to Clayton's house in December.
Yes. So my mom's house is actually on Candy Cane Lane. It's on Murdoch. And so, yeah, during December, my brothers and sisters and I would just be so pissed that it would take forever to get home around Christmas time because there would just be lines of cars for miles going down this street. But that's how good it is. And they have like crazy snow sculptures, sand sculptures. This year they had a fire truck. You could take fire truck rides around the neighborhood, which was really cool. But yeah, it was cool showing somebody who is not from St. Louis, Ben's girlfriend, and kind of showing her the thing. She's like, "How did you know this was here?" I'm like, "Well, I grew up here, and I embraced the Christmas lights because they're great. But man, it really sucked to get home
Land of
after being out
tradition.
all day."
They don't have tradition in Indiana, by the way. Just fun fact. They don't do those there.
The
So
those Hoosiers,
that's something exclusive to the St. Louis area that you'll get.
those Hoosiers, dude. Yeah, also exclusive to call people Hoosiers. I didn't really realize what the word Hoosier meant until I went to Mizzou with Ethan, and people are like, "How did you know they're from Indiana?" I'm like,
they took our gerbs.
They took our gerbs. Yeah, that's the myth that during a strike, the workers from Indiana came and took everyone's jobs. So people called them Hoosiers. They're not sure if that's why. That's like the origin of the word Hoosier, but they have a pretty good idea that might have been what it was. But in terms of other Christmas lights, I gotta say the other ones that I was checking out this year that highly recommend people to check out, the Garden Glow at the Botanical Gardens is very great.
Insane.
They have
I'm
lots
going
of
tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to the Garden Glow tomorrow?
Me and my family are
Okay.
going tomorrow.
That's
really
awesome.
Looking forward to it. Didn't
Yeah,
get to
you're
go
gonna
during the
love it.
holiday season. We normally do, but we actually hit up another fantastic spot. Grant's Farm had a really great exhibit for.
Do they have lights
for
there?
Lights, animals. You get to get really up close to Bush Manor, the big mansion on Bush property there. So
Okay, cool.
it's quite a spectacle. They're still going on till the end of the year, so if you haven't yet, go out and check it out. It's a very unique experience. They have a lot of food vendors. Santa is there, so that's a big attraction. And they do all the animals as well. They do some extra petting zoo type activities, and it's really nice.
That is cool. Yeah, I didn't do. I haven't actually been to Grant's Farm in forever. I'd love to go again sometime soon. My wife and I did go to the zoo. The zoo had lights, and it was pretty cold when we went. It was like kind of snowing, but it was also a great event. Lots of great lights. You got to go into the penguin exhibit. It was actually warmer in the penguin exhibit when we went, which is funny.
I bet it is. They keep it
which
at
is
like
crazy.
an exact 32 degrees.
It was like kind of snowing outside, super cold. I got my gloves, my beanie, and everything. Walking into the penguin exhibit, it was warmer, and then we go through this crazy thing where we had 77 degrees, cold front hit. Within 8 hours, it dropped below freezing.
70 to 15.
70
to 15 in less than 16 hours. That was insane.
I know that it's such a common thing. Like wherever you go, you're like, "How is this city?" Like, "Oh, just get ready for our weather
and try the next."
I feel like everyone says that. That and we have the worst drivers in the world. No matter what city you go to, people say our weather's crazy and we have the worst drivers in the world. But seriously, St. Louis weather is stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. You guys probably got that. Did you get that 70-degree weather in Fulton, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the same weather that you got. So, like,
you
it
probably
was,
just got it an hour before we did over here.
yeah. I was just saying, like, the local weather station was saying, like, that actually wasn't even the biggest, like, weather change in a day in, like, Missouri history either.
That's insane because you would think that was really up there.
It has to be top 3 though, right? I mean, that was
like,
wild. It's like
it was
60
there was like a
degree
day
difference.
in like 1917, that it was like a 60 plus degree change in 24 hours.
How do they even know
That's
that?
not reliable. They measured by licking their fingers and sticking them in the air. That's not science.
That was the technology of the time.
TV told me it was true, so I'm believing it.
Okay. Yeah, the talking heads told you.
So.
The talking heads told you.
I don't question what I'm been told.
You owe me money.
Nick, your wife texted me before we started the show, and she says if we talk about Christmas lights, I have to talk about Teddy Bear Christmas Land. And this is something I'd never heard of before.
I hadn't either.
Apparently it's in Crestwood.
Which is in St. Louis.
Which is in St. Louis. It's in the metro area.
Learned. She said that her and her family had gone for a really long time. Her dad used to take her, and they another one sounds pretty similar to Candy Cane Lane. I believe it's a bunch of individuals just getting together and throwing up a crash of Christmas, having a good time.
I love that there's so many great options for Christmas lights around here. People really go hard. I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't know if it's still up or not. We're recording on the 30th before the New Year, so I know people keep their Christmas lights up after the New Year. I'll have to go check it out.
I still have more Christmases.
He's got more family stuff to go to. Shout out divorce, man. Woohoo! Yeah, I got to go check that out then. Because I was going to recommend, the zoo lights, Garden Glow, now Grant's Farm. I guess I got to add a Teddy Bear. What is it? Teddy Bear Land? I have to make sure I get this right. Teddy Bear Christmas Land.
There you
go.
In
Crestwood.
You heard it here first.
So I'll check that out.
You live in Crestwood, in which case you probably did not hear it here first.
Also, Tillis Park. You can go and drive through that. They used to have the horses. My wife's family, they would always get the horse carriage ride through Tillis Park. And Tillis Park is massive with their light budget. They just cover every surface in lights. It's really impressive. They don't do the horses anymore, I don't think. Apparently it was abusive or something.
Who still has the horses? Grant's Farm.
Let's go. The Clydesdales, I hope.
I would have to think if you're going to Grant's Farm and getting a horse carriage tour.
Clydesdales are just so
reasonable price,
mystical, magical. They're massive and they're beautiful. So I would love to do a Clydesdale ride. That would be really cool. If you head down Candy Cane Lane, if you find yourself over there, if you go to the bottom of Candy Cane Lane, you'll cross over. I believe it's Donovan. You'll go down the hill further on Murdoch. At the bottom of Murdoch, you'll turn right onto Angel Avenue, which goes decorated with angel lights. And then you'll kind of have to go around Francis Park to go down to Snowflake Street. And it's kind of like the rival gang of Candy Cane.
Are they red
Lane.
or blue?
Well, Snowflake Street looks a little blue and Candy Canes are red. So, that's kind of a Bloods Crips situation.
You said it.
Yes. And we'll get more into some of that gang stuff in our next episode. We'll tease this a little bit.
Foreshadow.
We have a guest who is an ex-North City cop, and he was also an FBI special agent. And I've talked to him before, and he has just some incredible, crazy stories about working as a cop in North St. Louis. And also as an FBI special agent. So we'll get to pick his brain on a bunch of stuff next episode. He's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I believe, martial arts. And we wanted to plug his gym today, his martial arts gym, kind of as like a sponsorship for this episode. It is Watson Martial Arts. They are down in Midtown, kind of next to the Top Golf in Midtown by SLU. They're at 2737 Papin Street.
Watson Martial Arts.
Yeah,
Check
Watson Martial Arts. So if you want to, learn some martial arts and jiu-jitsu and stuff, I believe our next guest, the ex-North City cop, his name is Uzo. I believe he's an instructor there, or he might just train there, but he knows his stuff. I would want to mess with him, especially after some of the stories I've heard. So go over there and check them out. Watson Martial Arts. I want to thank him for agreeing to do an interview. So hopefully we'll do some more interviews in the future. You guys are going to like it. While we're still on Christmas, one funny thing I wanted to bring up was a Christmas gift that I got. My wife got me a flight simulator. So it's sort of like a
yes,
like a plane yoke, a steering wheel that I plug into my computer with, like, it's got all the thrusters and the buttons and everything. And so I got Microsoft Flight Simulator. First thing I did once I actually learned how to go through all the tutorials and learn how to fly a plane, like one of those Cessnas, learn what all the buttons did, how to properly control the aircraft and everything, takeoff and landing. First thing I did was I took off from Lambert Airport, went south, and flew through the legs of the arch.
You got flying through the arches. As a St. Louis kid, if you've ever had Flight Simulator, probably one of the first things you've done. I know it's one of the first things I've done.
Yeah, what was the other thing you did in Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Checked out local New York pizza. Very up close and personal.
There's like a myth that if you get the Microsoft Flight Simulator from before 2001 and you crash into the Twin Towers, you're supposedly get banned. That's like an urban myth. Once you crash in, you get banned from Microsoft Flight Simulator. But anyway, very cool to now I get to learn how to fly a Cessna. Maybe one day I'll get my actual. I actually have a pilot's license, but it's for drones. I actually had to take an FAA pilot test though to get my drone license. Since I'm uploading videos to online and I can make money off of it, that's technically commercial purposes. So I needed a commercial pilot license for drones, or like I could get fined out the ass from the FAA. So
he's doing it the right way.
So I'm a fake pilot. I'm not a real pilot yet. I'm the equivalent of if somebody's having a medical emergency and they're like, we need a doctor over here, and like a PhD in history like raises his hand and goes over.
He can do that on
my equivalent. I'm like the PhD in history. I'm a fake pilot right now, but I do have my pilot's license. I keep my wallet, so it is kind of cool. But I'm sure you guys all want to talk about the latest and greatest, or not greatest, news in the sports world, being that it is official now for the second time this decade, Missouri has lost a football team, has lost an NFL team. Yeah. And it is because of the Hunt family. Both times, I would like to point out, both times it was because of the Hunt family. And you're thinking, well, hold on now. Wasn't that Stan Kroenke the donkey? Didn't he cause that? Yes, he did cause that. But the Hunt family had just as much to do with the Rams leaving St. Louis as Kroenke, in my opinion. And I would like to lay this out here. And, in this rambling, I know, Ethan, you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Mm-hmm. And Nick, I know you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I would like to point out that, I am angry, or I'm peeved at St. Louisans who were Rams fans and became Kansas City Chiefs fans, because of that void. And I get it. It makes me mad. Not at the St. Louisans that there was this void in football and they chose the only other NFL team in Missouri. It makes me more mad at the Hunt family for doing that. And it makes me even more mad now that they're putting that void in those same St. Louisans again. They only care about money. I mean, they wanted the taxpayers to pay. They said no. Not only are they billionaires, they're like one of the top billionaires in the U.S. When it comes to St. Louis, if the Hunt family owned the Rams, St. Louis agreed to do exactly what the Hunt family wanted. St. Louisans agreed.
We're going to pay for a stadium.
We're going to pay for a stadium with our taxes. We're going to spend a few million right now just to draw up all the plans and show it to you. Yeah, he's moving them to Kansas. I would like to give a little brief history, if I could, before the Rams were even proposed to move out of St. Louis. The Chargers and the Raiders already had proposals put in place for both of them to move to LA. And there was a committee that was voting on relocating them to LA. There was only one person who voted against those teams moving to LA. Guess who it was?
Lamar.
Well,
Lamar's son.
Clark. Yeah. A Hunt family. The Hunt family voted no. They're thinking if the Rams are out of Missouri, they will be the only Missouri team left, and they can have the whole Missouri market to themselves. He's got dollar signs in his eyes. He claimed he voted no because he said LA could not support two teams. That's why he voted against the Chargers and the Raiders moving to LA. But then when he put forward that the Rams moved to LA, he also voted yes for the Chargers to move to LA with them as well. So that just doesn't make any that reasoning doesn't make any sense to me. While he was pushing for that the whole time, he was reaching out for marketing and TV slots in the St. Louis TV area to get the Chiefs on at the same time.
It's an easy pickup.
Yeah, it would be an easy pickup. That's exactly what he's thinking.
Natural selection.
And for the first vote for the Rams, when it actually came down to a proposal for the Rams to leave St. Louis, all the owners voted on it. And the first vote, it did not pass. There were plenty of owners who were like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would we move the Rams out of St. Louis? There's no reason for it. And they were right. But it is very well thought that before the second round of voting, Hunt and Kroenke were big in convincing all of the other owners to vote yes in the second round when they had a second vote. And one of those things being that all of the owners wouldn't have to pay out any settlement money from lawsuits when the city inevitably sues, which they backed out on after we won the settlement. So they lied again. But this isn't the first time the Hunt family tried getting the whole Missouri market. Back when we had the football Cardinals in St. Louis, Lamar Hunt tried to buy them and move them to Dallas. At the same time, he owned the Chiefs.
Not the St. Louis football Cardinals.
Yes. That obviously didn't work out. He also voted in favor of the Cardinals moving to Arizona when they did move to Arizona. And when the Rams came from LA to St. Louis in the 90s, they also voted against it. So, there is very clear pattern of them trying to maintain the entire Missouri market. And now, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of confused on this move to Kansas, and it's just all greedy. I talked for a while. I was feeling very ranty about it. I was kind of pissed off because I'm not a Chiefs fan, but Missouri just losing another team twice from the same family, it just kind of pisses me off. Well, I wanted to hear what you think, Nick.
Yeah, it confuses me because there's a lot of people out there on the side of it's about 3 miles to the west. It's a bit of a big deal. Had they been the Wichita Chiefs, I may never have been a fan in the first place. So my Chiefs fandom comes from my aunt and uncle going to Rockhurst University, living in Kansas City their whole lives. They brought that back. So a big part of my family and my cousins are all big Chiefs fans, always have been. And when the Rams left, there was a little bit of persuasion from them. I also moved to Kansas City to go to college. It was a real natural turning point. I went to college the exact year that the Rams no longer played in St. Louis anymore. So I became a Chiefs fan. I liked watching Alex Smith and a young Travis Kelce, but
I don't blame you for being a Chiefs fan.
Part of me keeps thinking,
I don't blame you for being a Chiefs fan.
I appreciate it.
Even though I love to bash them in front of you, and you know that.
No, of course. And so
I don't blame you at all.
I get there and they have a good year or two, and then they pick up this kid out of Texas Tech and who has a brother that likes to dance and a dad that likes to drink. But, you love him. Yeah, who doesn't? So he not quite bandwagoning. The Chiefs were good when I went there. It felt really natural to me. Had they been the Wichita Chiefs, I don't know if I would have been a fan.
No.
So now it provides a lot of confusion. It's different from the Rams moving from St. Louis to LA. They are still the Kansas City Chiefs. they switched the state that the stadium is. The Chiefs or the Rams, they moved to LA. So
Right.
they're hated. They're gone. They're 1,000 miles away from us.
Right. This
It
is
does
like the
feel
equivalent
slimy.
this is like the equivalent of the Rams moving to like to
Illinois.
Belleville.
Yeah, Belleville.
You know?
Exactly.
So still, I would feel pretty betrayed if they moved over to Illinois.
They're definitely going to lose their St. Louis fans. So those guys, those are gone for the most part. As far as I've talked to people on the street about, at least. Now that provides the question: what's the next logical step? Phil Rivers sounds like a pretty good option. You know, from where I'm sitting.
Yeah,
you got the 44-year-old old man, Midwest daddy. You know, slinging pigskin for an additional 5 years of insurance for his and his kids. And then Chicago's doing well. They are a lot of fun to watch. I don't know if they'll keep that momentum going forward. And St. Louis notoriously hates Chicago, so I don't think a lot of people are going to be jumping on that.
Right.
And then there's Tennessee, who just is really underperforming. So I think the market gets split. And we're Battlehawks fans, so that's what I can confidently say right now. Is I'm a Battlehawks fan.
Yeah, the Battlehawks are the only professional football team left in Missouri, and we can.
And I cannot stress the second part enough.
Caw, baby. Yeah, we'll have to get out there after the Super Bowl and the UFL when the UFL starts up.
Before we're going to host a tailgate.
Yeah, we're going to host a tailgate.
ThatSTLpod.
We're going to give everyone a Busch Light that is of age, right?
I believe I said something about that people should probably let me do.
Before we get to some UFL stuff, Ethan, I wanted to see. I saw you were trying to chime in over there.
Well, my mom just came in. That was half the issue, but like, I mean, I'm upset too, just because it's just, I don't know, what was it? They gave him $2 billion, $1.8 billion. For a family that's worth $30 billion.
Right. It's the biggest subsidy in Kansas history. And you're right. And then, you said that they're still going to be the Kansas City. They're going to be the Kansas City Chiefs still. I mean, I don't know if it makes a big difference, but there is a chance they could change to just the Kansas Chiefs.
They could.
Well, I was thinking, how long is the lease to the new stadium though? Like, what's stopping them from 10 years from now saying all right, we're going back to Missouri or whatever city's going to pay us the most again? Because
they want to
host
a Super Bowl.
How it is.
They can't do that right now in an outdoor stadium, and Missouri didn't want to pay for it. Obviously, the Hunts could have. They chose on the side of money. Who could say they wouldn't do the same? I don't know. Business is business, but I certainly am awfully disappointed that they're not going to be on this side of, I would say, the river, but I don't think that's how the Kansas side works. So stay tuned, and I'll come up with an analogy for that.
And it pains me to admit, they're going to make a dome, and I know people are pretty uninterested in just boring old domes because they're indoors, and they can host the Super Bowl when it's cold outside. But Arrowhead is pretty iconic. It pains me to say, as much as I hate the Chiefs, that Arrowhead is a really, really cool stadium. I mean, it's massive, and I love the way it looks. It's a shame. It's a shame that I feel I don't know. I haven't seen too many renderings of the new stadium, but it can't be any cooler than Arrowhead is.
They just got it approved. I haven't seen any photos yet. I don't think they're quite out, but yeah, I mean, Arrowhead's classic. The Chiefs have been there since they moved from Texas. So,
Ethan, I'm curious to know, as a person who grew up in Fulton, Missouri, which for those who don't know is smack dab in the middle of Missouri. Kansas City being on the farmost west side, St. Louis being on the farmost east side, you're pretty much equidistant to Arrowhead and Edward Jones,
big word.
Rams and Chiefs at the same time. How did you did you kind of split? You like them both? I personally know you as a Colts fan, but in terms of, did you watch more Chiefs, as a kid, or more Rams? What was your family split? You could have chose either one. You were pretty close to both, and that's mostly how people decide their team is geographically so.
Well, so like when I was a kid, right? They both kind of sucked, honestly. After the Greatest Show on Turf ended,
Yeah.
like the
Right.
Rams
Hey,
went through
Priest
a rough
Holmes was
patch.
awesome.
Yeah, but like
Tony
Chiefs,
Gonzalez?
there's a reason why the Chiefs like kind of got the first overall pick before getting like Andy Reid and stuff like that. They were horrible. And that's actually half the reason why I became a Colts fan, right? I got like Madden 2002, right? And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go play the Chiefs." Scroll down. They're like a 71 overall. I was like, "No, I'm not doing this." Next team,
Yeah, screw
and
that.
it was Peyton Manning and the Colts, and they were like a 93 overall. I was like, "Yeah, I can roll with this." So that's actually how I got started with Peyton Manning, just because they were a
Yeah.
lot better. But
Right.
like splitting between the Rams and Kansas City, honestly, I was pretty much a fair weather fan.
Yeah.
So it was kind of
Rams
mostly
are
the
better.
Rams, because at least like
Fair
yeah,
enough.
like Jeff Fisher would get you like the 8-8, while the Chiefs were like, "All right, guys, if we can win 5 games this year, we'll shoot off a ton of fireworks."
And I mean, that's fair enough with them like sucking, during that time. Cause I do remember, it's funny to look back on when I was a kid and I knew the Rams were bad. I would play, the good teams on Madden on my Xbox as well. But one of the things was when I was a kid, my neighbor was Lawrence Maroney, and he was a running back. He was an active running back at the time for the New England Patriots. And he was around. He was just like in the neighborhood. Sometimes me and my friends, we'd be playing in our cul-de-sac and he'd come out and we tried to get him to throw a football for us and stuff. We thought he was really cool. And he would give us all of this Patriots merchandise. Like he gave me this like really cool backpack that I wore to school that had like Patriots logos on it and it had speakers built into the backpack so I could hook up my iPod to it. I thought I was the shit in grade school with this Patriots backpack with the speakers built in. It wasn't until later that I realized as Rams fans we're supposed to hate the Patriots, especially from Spygate and all that stuff. And then I was like, holy shit, what am I, Mom, Dad, like why as a kid did you let me like wear all this like Patriot stuff? But he was a really cool guy. There's a video you can find. It's still on YouTube. I would share my screen to show it. I don't know if we can show it. It was like an NFL commercial where they had like all these players. They'd be like, "Hey, I'm so and so. Choose me for your NFL fantasy team," and they do something like crazy. Like I'm pretty sure there was like a kicker, and he showed he could like beam a like church bell by kicking a football from like 50 yards away, just cool stuff like that. And Lawrence Maroney had one, and it was filmed in my neighborhood. And we watched him actually film the video where he's like, "Hey, I'm Lawrence Maroney. If you want a running back for your team in fantasy, pick me." And then he did this thing where he ran and he dove through all the windows of his car. Like he rolled down his driver's side window, his passenger window, and he like did a running jump dive through the window and came out the other side and tucked and rolled. I was looking at this video the other day and all the comments on YouTube were like arguing about whether it was real or not. And I guess I got to break the news since I was there as a little kid in like second grade to see it, but it actually was fake. Unfortunately, he did like one take where he dove in through the driver's side window into the car, and then he had one take where he kind of like was laying down flat in his car and like kind of jumped up, and then he had a third take where he jumped out of the passenger window, and then they cut it all together. But you guys got to look that video up. It is really funny, and it is in my old neighborhood. So my house was like literally, if you panned over just a little bit more, you could see my old house. So not a proud moment as a kid to be a Patriots fan, but that's okay. Speaking of old Rams players and stuff like that, the Battlehawks have some new changes to them, and Anthony Becht. I'm not going to say the coach of the Battlehawks. I'm not going to say he left. I'm pretty sure he was moved by the UFL. We were talking the other episode about how the UFL, they don't have certain franchises. Like all the teams are owned by the UFL. So I'm pretty sure they told him you are going to leave being the coach of St. Louis and you're going to go to Orlando, I think. You're going to be the new Orlando coach. So the new Battlehawks coach is Ricky Prohl, who
That's not Jeff Fisher.
Not Jeff Fisher, but he was a Rams
wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver. I'll pull up my screen now about some of his stats. It'll be fun to share. Yeah, it says
I was
UFL.
Looking that up earlier today too.
Oh, were you? Yeah, this says UFL names Rams legend Ricky Prohl as Battlehawks' new head coach. Didn't his son play for the Battlehawks? He was pretty good. He was also a wide receiver.
He still does.
Yeah.
I he's still on the Battlehawks roster.
What's this website? Matrix Midwest. They have Mizzou, CBC High School, Cardinals, Blues, City, Battlehawks, and Chiefs.
This has to be just a CBC run. Just like a CBC run website.
CBC
That's crazy.
propaganda page.
Yeah. So this says that Prohl made the game-winning touchdown for the Rams in the 1999 NFC Championship. He went on to defeat the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl. He played in 3 more Super Bowls for the Carolina Panthers and the Colts, finishing with 2 Super Bowl rings. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think he was already working on the sidelines underneath Coach Becht, and so now he's head coach. That's awesome. I can't wait to see how well he does. It'll be sad to see Coach leave, but I'm pretty excited for Ricky Prohl to be the new coach. This looks exciting.
Potential future guest.
I'll reach out, dude. I'm going to start reaching out to people for interviews. That would be amazing if we could start interviewing him.
Do we have any more sponsors coming up in the works?
So
Gateway Stays still a strong sponsor. We dropped them.
Strong sponsor, and we know we're giving a shout out to Watson Martial Arts as well this episode. So also, if you guys, if you want to ad spot or whatever, it's great that we're shouting out some local businesses. Love to keep it local, keep it St. Louis. That's really what I'm all about. But for our next episode for the ex-North City Cop interview, if you guys want to reach out for anything, or if you just want to drop a message, go ahead and email me, clay@stlguy.com. Talk about sponsorships. If you guys want shout outs, send in questions you want to ask an ex-North City Cop, and we'll shout your name out and the question as well in the next episode. You can also hit me up if you want any of my new merch, STL Guy merch. I got some of the bike on it from the STL bike tours that started it all. But these hoodies are pretty sweet. I've got a limited amount in a box I have over there, limited supply. So hit me up. I have been actually shipping them out some places. People have been hitting me up on TikTok and Instagram to buy shirts and hoodies so far. I shipped a hoodie out to Pennsylvania. So shout out to that guy who's watching in Pennsylvania. Very cool. I also got recognized for the first time in public the other day, which was so funny. I was at Jimmy John's with my brother, and this guy was like walking past, and he like saw me through the window, and he came in. He's like, "Are you that STL guy?" It's like, "Yeah, I am." That's crazy. I've never been recognized. That's so funny.
So basically, send in your emails while he's still checking his own emails and his agent isn't sorting.
Well, before I get a secretary or whatnot. It's like, you gonna get a sandwich? He's like, "No, dude, I was just walking past, saw you through the window." His name was Jordan, I think, if I remember correctly. So shout out Jordan. Shout out Jordan. That's right. I wanted to shift a little over to the Blues, and I went to the game recently against the Predators. Super exciting game. I know they suck really bad too, so it was great that we pulled out a win there. The Blues have been really embracing being a music team, and I love that. I think they need to lean into that even harder right now, just to really get people more into the culture. I think they need to embrace it more. I mean, it's a team that's named after a song. It's the only team named after a song. And people think that it's named after the blues genre. It's named after the song St. Louis Blues, W.C. Handy. And I mean, the logo is a note. So we had Singing Gloria in 2019. We also had Singing West Virginia that just like happened naturally. The crowd just singing West Virginia. I think we just need to bring this team together more with music and really be that music team. That would be just so fun to do. At the game, the game I went to the other day, they had on screen like text what song you want for the sing along. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I was texting the song that I wanted to do for the sing along. We also have a great goal song by a local band, The Urge, that's from St. Louis. They went to like SLU and CBC and Webster, I think. So shout out to The Urge.
I was a very big Blues hockey fan in high school. I enjoyed watching those guys play, going with friends, family. I got really, really into it right around that time. And when I went off to college, I really pivoted more into football. When they made their Stanley Cup run, it was a lot of fun because the Kansas City kind of did what St. Louis did for the Chiefs, and they adopted the Blues for a postseason. And, you could go into any bar and watch a Blues game. One thing I do want to say is the song is Take Me Home Country Roads, not West Virginia. Shout out John Denver.
Right.
But as far as the music goes, I'm in. Like, I miss Glenn Charles singing the national anthem.
Oh yeah,
I can tell you that
Charles,
much,
dude.
Fucking legend.
Yeah, he is a legend.
Beautiful voice.
And if you're gonna correct me on Take Me Home Country Roads, I have to point out because people love talking about this. When I lived in Maryland, the song is not about West Virginia. The song is about
it is
Maryland.
about the western part of Virginia.
Yeah, it's about him driving home to Maryland because I believe that's where he was from. So he's like driving to Maryland. It's about Maryland. So people love
in Germany really love it.
In Germany,
they love that? Big John Denver fans. If you'll ever watch any of the Munich games or the Berlin games,
they chant that.
They'll be singing it in the stands.
Oh yeah, they've got some great chants over there in Europe. We need to take note of that. You brought up the Stanley Cup run though, and I've got this awesome story. One of my most prized possessions is up here. If you can see in the video, up here on my shelf. This is a bottle of tequila. I'll actually try and take this down without breaking it. It's one of my most prized possessions. This is a bottle of tequila that is signed by Brett Hull, and
love that.
That is just the best thing.
Not his tequila
ever.
That's a bottle of tequila.
That is the best thing ever that you can have Brett Hull sign, because nationwide he is just known for being at his best when he is just belligerently drunk. And you could see the most entertaining moments of that from after the Blues won the Stanley Cup and he was just on the stage just completely near blacking out. Just we went Blues. Amazing. The story behind this, after the Blues won the Stanley Cup, Ethan and I, we were at a bar in downtown Columbia at Mizzou when they won. We watched them win, and it was crazy partying, and we were partying hard. And I remember I just woke up the next morning, probably around noon or something, and I was like, it must have been, maybe it wasn't the next morning. It was a day or two after, celebrating it from that. And I get a call, and it's my father-in-law. I'm like, wow, why is he calling me? I answer it. He's like, hey, Clay, I got somebody that wants to talk to you. I'm like, okay. And I get this voice. It's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You've been celebrating the Blues winning? I'm like, hell yeah, I've been celebrating the Blues winning. It's like, you have any idea who this is? I'm like, no. Who is this? He's like, it's Brett Hull, and I just want to say, like, your father-in-law cares a lot about you, but I hope you're just really enjoying the win. This is like an amazing time to be a Blues fan. Go out and celebrate some more, because I am right now. They were like, they ran into each other when they were golfing. So shout out my father-in-law Fred for getting Brett Hull on the phone, talking to me as I'm hungover as hell after celebrating. And then he said he like went to the golf shop and bought this bottle of tequila, and Brett Hull signed it. So just one of my favorite things I've ever gotten. I love this thing. Ethan, did you have you had a segment you wanted to bring up, some sort of trivia game?
Yeah, I do actually have some trivia questions to ask Clay and maybe even Nick to see if either of you guys know.
Let's go.
I kind of wanted to diverse a little bit.
Who is the most STL guy of that STL pod? Let's find out.
Do they know things?
I kind of wanted to pull away from being like sports stuff.
Will they answer a question? Let's find out.
Right after this break.
Whoever wins gets this hoodie.
Okay, so some of these I think are going to be easy for Clay just because he talks about like some of this stuff quite a bit.
I should,
but
I
maybe
should know
some
it.
of the other fans.
If this is St. Louis trivia, I've got this.
Yeah, like okay, so this one like I think would be hard for like the average St. Louian, but should be easy for Clay.
Hit
when
me.
did the city and county officially divorce?
1847.
No. That would be 1870. Hold on, let me think about this. It's 18. So after the Civil War, I'm going to guess 1871, I believe, is when the Great Divorce was. Is it in the 1870s?
1876 is when the vote occurred.
1876. Oh. Okay, that's a good one. I should have known that, though.
So we both got that equally wrong.
Well, you said 1840s. I was at least in the correct decade. Hit me with a good one.
Okay. What year did the St. Louis Cardinals win their first World Series?
Like 1926. Boom.
1926.
1926.
Oh,
let's go.
Oh, shit.
I used to sit in the stadium and just look at those flags all day. I had to go deep into. Their second one was in the 30s.
I should have those memorized. If I'm gonna call myself that STO guy, I should have the World Series memorized. Go ahead, ask me when the Blues won their Stanley Cup.
The most recent one, or their only one?
The only one. They went 67, 68, and 69.
I think they went 68, 69, and 70, actually.
They were the Buffalo Bills before the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think they actually, those first 3 years, they went to the Stanley Cup, but I don't think they scored a single goal. I don't think they
the divisions were so
maybe they
lopsided at the time.
Maybe they actually
they
scored
were
goals.
Farm League teams.
They scored goals, but I think what I'm thinking of is they didn't win a game. I think they got swept all 3 times in those first 3 years.
That sounds
in the Stanley Cup. That's where that famous photo of Bobby Orr flying through the air, that was against the Blues.
All right, more trivia.
Yeah, hit me with the next one, Ethan.
Out of these 4, who wasn't born in St. Louis? Chuck Berry, Yogi Berra, SZA, and Walter Cronkite.
SZA.
Hold on.
Just to say, like, Chuck Berry, famous musician, Yogi Berra,
famous St. Louis musician.
famous Yankee, SZA, artist, and Walter Cronkite, like NBC news anchor for like a number of years.
Okay, so I know Chuck Berry was born in St. Louis. He grew up in the Ville, or the Greater Ville neighborhood. Yogi Berra, I actually just featured him in my most recent video about the Hill. So he grew up on the Hill. Yogi Berra did. SZA was not born in St. Louis. She was born somewhere else, and then she moved here at a very young age. So I'm gonna go SZA.
SZA was born in St. Louis.
Oh, well, then I'm an idiot.
It was Walter Cronkite who was born. Yeah, Cronkite was born in KC.
Wow. Now I look horrible. Give me a softball question. So
lob him up.
So my viewers,
so he looks credible.
So my viewers will actually think I'm like,
okay.
Like, wow, he knew about how the highway was started because there was money from the U-2 spy plane, but he doesn't know that he thought SZA wasn't born in St. Louis. What an idiot. Unsubscribe.
All right, easy one. What year did the Rams first come to St. Louis?
1990.
1995.
Clayton's correct. 5.
Yes.
Damn.
That's right.
Which census year did St. Louis have its largest population?
1904.
No. Yeah, it was in the 50s. So I'm gonna guess.
Well, census years only are done every 10 years, so
does it end in?
So they didn't do one in 1904, is what you're saying?
Yes, so, they did do one in 1904.
the famous 1904 census.
So did they do the census at the beginning of every decade? It's like 40, 50, 60. Okay,
yes. How so they still do them now? Yes,
I know that St. Louis was a city built for 1 million people. That was the direction they thought it was going in the 50s. They were like, okay, we're going to need even more housing. And then the decline.
Yeah, I have the population right here. It's 850,000.
Yeah.
And it's only like at 300 some thousand now.
They added like 200,000 more, living spaces because they thought it was going to grow to a million very easily. And mind you, that's just the city. So in 1950, that small little sliver of the city had almost 1 million people. That wasn't including the county or anything. So that's pretty wild.
Used to be gods.
We used to be the city where everything was happening.
All right.
Let's get another one here.
What famous 1857 Supreme Court civil rights case started in a circuit court in St. Louis? This is not an easy one.
That is an easy one.
Really?
Oh, civil rights case?
Yeah.
Are you talking about? It's the Dred Scott case. Yeah, he was. That happened. Dred Scott happened at the old courthouse, right by the arch. Yeah, I included that in my downtown TikTok video, because he was suing for his freedom because he was a slave, but as part of his tasks that he was given, can you call it that? As a slave, he traveled through Illinois and I believe Michigan, which were free states. And then when he came back to Missouri, he was like, okay, well, the rule is if I go to a free state, technically I have been freed. So even though I'm back in a slave state, I am now free. And the Supreme Court case said, no, you're not free. And in fact, Black Americans are not citizens. They didn't consider them citizens. And that was a really big tension point leading up to the Civil War, being part of the civil rights case about that. Do you have any more trivia questions for us, Ethan?
I got one more.
You got one more? Hit me.
Yeah. When did KSHE 95 go on air?
Oh, that is a great question. Real Rock Radio. That is a great question.
1976.
It would have to be soon after.
What did you say? 76 or 67?
76. 67.
Yes.
67.
67. Right before the Vietnam War.
Right before the Vietnam War. Okay. Wow. KSHE, they I like their logo a lot though, with it's like a pig. It's a pig, right? With the
pig
glasses on.
I thought it was a bull. Yeah, maybe it could be.
Is it a bull or a pig?
I thought
let's look this up. Let's pull this up. Share the screen. This looks like
it has the bull nose. That's why I thought it was a bull.
So it's a pig.
Yeah,
yeah, he's got the bull nose ring and either a cigarette or a joint here, but it's got some sick looking sunglasses. We got to have our segment over the men who are often wrong. A few things that we got wrong on the last episode. Let's fix some of these mistakes from the last episode. So we brought up the billionaire segment, the St. Louis billionaire segment, and we said that David Stewart, he was the founder of Worldwide Tech. We said he was the richest African American in the U.S. And a listener actually reached out. He pointed this out kind of in a funny way, the semantics of it. He said, actually, David Stewart is not the richest African American. He's the richest Black American. And do you guys want to guess who the richest African American is?
Elon. Well, if you're playing Elon Musk here,
yeah,
he's a African Canadian American.
He's African Canadian American. He has 3 citizenships. So I thought that was pretty funny because we were talking about Elon on the last podcast too about how he has a South African accent. But yeah, he is technically, quote unquote, an African American. So yeah, the semantics of it. David Stewart, still the richest Black American in the U.S. So that's crazy, and even more so, Worldwide Technology produced 2 billionaires from St. Louis. So that's pretty crazy. Also, the St. Louisan who founded Cash App that was killed was not Jim McKelvey, who we just assumed that we were going through last episode. It was Bob Lee, who went to Lindbergh High School in Southeast Missouri State. He was stabbed because of his involvement with a woman who was in an open marriage, and I think it was her brother that killed him. And he is in prison now. So yeah, I remember in the last episode, I was like, he was killed, right? And you're like, I don't know if he was killed, but I'm talking about McKelvey. I'm like, that must be the guy who was killed. It was not. It was not. One final note before we close it out. We had SLU soccer loses in the semifinals, unfortunately, against NC State, but still, congrats to them for making it so far in the season. Yes. Round of applause. One of the most championed college soccer team in the U.S. The WashU women's soccer also won their second straight college championship. So shout out to the WashU Bears.
There you go, ladies.
Yeah, go ladies. Hell yeah. Another shout out to someone on the SLU soccer team, Constantine, who I met during my soccer video I put out on TikTok. It turns out I looked him up the other day. He's actually like the director of operations or something for SLU soccer. So thank you, Constantine, for showing me around the stadium, and he gave me a hat too. So appreciate that. But we will close this one out and get ready for the next episode that comes out. We will be interviewing our new friend Uzo, the ex North City cop and FBI special agent. Gonna pick his brain over some stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And maybe we'll get Charlie back for the next episode as well. So we'll close this out here. All of you guys, I hope you had a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and soon to be New Year in a day or two here. We're signing out here. All y'all have a great night.
Love you guys.